this regular meeting of the Board of Finance with Board of Finance member Mark Bushka still sitting or seated as a member of the Board of Finance. So for the record, today is Tuesday, December 19th, 2023. We are in the City Hall auditorium and via Zoom. This is a hybrid meeting. For the record, attending in person is Board of Finance member Lorene Pesky, Board of Finance member Mark Bushka, Board of Finance member James Wright, and participating via Zoom, we have Board of Finance member Christopher Bayes. That is our quorum. So if we could please begin the meeting with the pledge.
To the flag of the United States, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So regular agenda, item number 1, I'll entertain a motion to open the meeting to the public.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Moved by Mr. Wright, seconded by Mr. Bushka. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. For the record, let's the record reflect that Board of Finance member Deb Iannacido has also arrived for the meeting. All right, item 2, I will entertain a motion to accept the regular meeting minutes from November 21st, 2023.
So moved.
Thank you. Did I hear an echo? I heard Ms. Pesky and I heard Mr. Wright. Are there questions or comments on the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Same.
One abstention would be Mr. Bushka. All right,
One abstention.
Item 3.
Mayor, one
entertain a motion to
abstention here
consider
too.
Business by department. Oh, Chris, also an abstention? Is that what I
Correct.
heard, Chris?
Yep.
Yes.
Correct.
And so I'm sorry. So the abstentions go to Mr. Bushka and to Mr. Bayes. And let the record reflect that Board of Finance member Christopher Anderson has also joined the meeting. Item 3, I'll entertain a motion to consider business by department heads.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Bushka.
Second.
Seconded by Mr. Wright. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, before I turn this over to our department heads seated at the table to our left, I wanted to introduce to the Board of Finance our new comptroller, John Monks, who started this week, Monday, was his first day in the office. I think I shared with the Board of Finance last month that Robin is going to be stepping away from the position, although she has agreed to continue to work with us more or less on a consulting basis to help with the transition. It took us a little longer to fill this vacancy. We also have a new deputy comptroller starting January 2nd, and we have a new budget manager that started last week. So between Robin and Alice, I think we've got a pretty good plan for transition that would include consulting and cross-training. So with that said, Robin, is there anything that you need to report to the board this evening?
Just looking forward to being able to get to a place to work on the audit and finalize some items that have been delayed because of all of the transitions. So we have 2 other positions open still, AP and payroll. So we have some interviews coming for those in hopes of filling those positions in the next few weeks. But that's been what's taking up a lot of our time over the last few months.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? All right. And I don't know, John, if there was anything you wanted to add this evening. Okay, good. Treasurer Dan Farley is here, and I think you had a report on the small cities program or the diversion specialist.
Robin's hungry, so she told me to make it quick. So the city of Torrington was awarded a small cities grant, marked as small cities grant number 201-4301. Was for $170,000 that we received the award back on 12/23 of 2020. It was set up, marked as a homeless diversion program. And at that time, it was set up with the Supportive Housing Works that was acting as the administrator of the program. Their role was to focus on ending homelessness and creating equitable housing opportunities for all. The Housing Collective, which are now known by, they were previously known as Supportive Housing Works, dedicated a team to align the Coordinated Access Network, whose acronym is CAN, C-A-N. And their focus was to collaborate with CAN and to provide services to those in need of emergency shelter and to work with them to try and find permanent housing plans. The grant funds were designed to provide $141,500 for program costs, and the other $28,500 was appropriated for administrative expenses to be split between the city and the Housing Collective for administering the program. This grant's expiring on 12/31 of this year. And I'm in the process of completing payment number 3 with the Department of Housing to finalize this grant. We recently applied for a budget modification because the Housing Collective had exceeded their budget in both program costs and administrative expenses. Our administrative expenses, like I said, we were allowed $14,250, but we had anticipated that we were going to have to do a lot more work than we actually did. So I believe our expenses were, I've got it here actually. Our administrative expenses ended up being $6,316.58. So under the mayor's advice, we asked for a budget modification, requesting that $7,000 of the administrative expenses that we weren't using could be utilized by the Housing Collective. It's still not going to make them whole. They overextended the program expenses by $6,610, and they'll still be over in administrative expenses by another $1,600. But that's the way it works. They know how much the program was valued at. We're trying to help out by spreading our administrative costs with them. So I guess that's it in a nutshell.
Questions on this grant? And it falls under the small cities, but this is not that loan portion of the small cities programs that the city has been offering to qualified homeowners. So if there are no questions, thank you very much.
I do have a question. Are
Sure.
we all, that won't come back on us because they overspent their portion?
No, absolutely not.
It won't impact us negatively when we apply for small cities grants in the future or any of this kind of thing?
No.
In fact, I almost think that it would reflect positively on us because we kept very good track of our time, spent hours calculating the amount of time we should be charging. And, you know, by making the decision to amend the budget to allow for our excess administration expenses to be charged against or to be used by the Housing Collective, I would think that would put us in a positive light with
Yeah,
DOH.
I agree. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, they were, they really made an effort to help these individuals. But financially, they weren't that good in doing their paperwork. I had issues with every payment that they submitted with double entries and even addition errors. It was, was it more work on my end than I anticipated, but less than we thought it was going to be in the long run.
Thank you.
Sure.
Thank you, Dan.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, anything from the city clerk's office this evening? All right, let's move into item number 4. I'll entertain a motion to consider business by mayor and members.
So moved.
So moved.
Thank you, Mr. Anderson.
Second.
Second.
Second by, I heard, Ms. Iannacido. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And we'll go to the screen first. Anything this evening, Mr. Bayes?
Nothing this evening, Mayor. Just want to wish my fellow board members a Merry Christmas and prosperous New Year, and we'll see you all at the beginning of budget season next year. So thank you all for a good year.
Thank you. Anything, Mr. Anderson?
Much the same. Looking forward to that big, beautiful spreadsheet of yours. Have a happy holiday, everyone, and we'll see you next year.
Thank you. Mr. Wright, anything this evening?
Nothing tonight.
Ms. Iannacido?
Just happy holidays and looking forward to 2024.
Ms. Pesky?
Is the budget manager position something that we already have?
That was, we did build that into our fiscal year 24 budget.
It's new
It's a new position that we created in our budget. And I will tell you already, I believe this is going to be a really big help for us.
It's been posted but not filled.
Filled.
Oh, that one
Was posted and filled. The budget manager is Erica Johnson. Erica comes to us with quite a bit of experience. She had been working with the Board of Education for the past 10 years. I think in central office, maybe the last 5 or 6 years. So very familiar with the software, very familiar with the budget process, and understand. And that was her role there: budget management, building, production. Yeah.
And John, I didn't catch your last name, John. Started with an M, but
It's Monks.
MONKS.
KS Monks.
Yes.
Welcome.
Well, thank you.
We don't bite, but we
Yeah,
just
yeah.
go like that sometimes.
Not all of us.
And happy holidays to everyone.
All right, and so before I call for Mr. Bushka's comments, I wanted to close the meeting out with some comments and a presentation for Mr. Bushka, and with the swearing in of our new Board of Finance member, Wendy Trapp. So are the mics live at the podium? Let's do this real formal, like, meet me at the podium.
Me?
Can I get a photographer to take some pictures? This is what, 16, 18 years get you. So what I wanted to present to you is a certificate of appreciation in recognition of your dedication and commitment in helping to govern the city of Torrington. On behalf of a grateful community, thank you for your service. In witness, I hereunto set my hand and affix the great seal of the city of Torrington to be on this 19th day of December 2023. So that is for you. And because, it's got to be more than just a piece of paper that you're probably going to, let your grandchildren look at someday and peel off the gold seal. I don't know that you ever got a city seal. And I kind of feel like all of our board members really should have a city seal that they're able to wear. So here is a little late,
Final
a city
signature.
seal, exactly. And a pen, because now you don't have to write on all the budget books. You can actually use that for something else. But I did want to send you off with tremendous gratitude. I know I actually, 6 years ago, when I needed to reappoint, I bumped into Mr. Bushka. I think we were in Target. And I caught him in one of the aisles and said, please tell me you're going to do 6 more years. And he agreed. And I can't believe how fast this 6 years
Yeah.
has gone and how grateful I am to have had your expertise after all these years. So thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. I don't know if you have anything.
I do have some comments. Thank you. Says on this certificate here, I started February 6, 2006. So I was surprised by that date. I planned on staying maybe a couple years, and here I am, almost 18 years later. But I was born and raised in Torrington. I love this city. I met the mayor in high school, so that's how long we've known each other. Met a lot of great people on other boards, this board, city hall employees, even some taxpayers that I had calls while I was on the board. So I've met a lot of new people. And I'd just like to say it's been my honor and pleasure to be a part of serving the city of Torrington. Thank you all very much.
So next, I get to say goodbye to one, and I get to say hello, goodbye to one old friend and hello to another old friend. So, yeah, so when I called Mark earlier in December or the end of November, I said, well, I remember when we had that conversation, he said one more term, but I didn't want to assume that one more term meant one more term. So, so when he did say to me that he was ready to hang up his Board of Finance hat, I immediately reached out to Wendy. I worked with Wendy on the Board of Education. I was on the City Council. She was a member of the Board of Finance. And I knew that if I was going to try to fill some very big shoes, Wendy's attention to detail and attention to the budget was exactly what I needed to do that. So I was a little anxious because we had the conversation and she still needed to think about it. And then we had another conversation and she was still thinking about it. So when she texted me last week and said she's in, I slept really well that night. So thank you very much. With that said, I want to swear you in officially. All right. So if you would raise your right hand, please, and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Wendy Traub,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
I will faithfully and impartially
I will faithfully and impartially
discharge according to law
discharge according to law
my duties
Mhm.
as a member of the Board of Finance
my duties as a member of the Board of Finance
for the City of Torrington
for the City of Torrington
to the best of my abilities.
to the best of my abilities.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Thank you very much. If you wanted.
No, I quickly want to say I'm honored for the appointment, Eleanor. It feels good to be back. I hope it's like riding a bike. And I'm looking forward to working with everybody on the board, and everybody have a happy and healthy holiday.
All right,
Do we get to say anything?
please, yeah, and yes.
Been my honor and pleasure to sit next to this man for a very long time too. And the amount of knowledge that's up in that brain was very helpful to all of us. And I appreciate the time that you've put in. I know that our busy time is always your busy time, but you always made time when it was really important, and you were always here. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Robin, thank you for your time and with us. It's been a tough time, and not through any fault of yours in terms of the ins and the outs and everybody and what we've all been through over the last bunch of years. So Thank you.
All right. If there's no other comments or questions, and there being no further business before the board, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Bayes, and seconded by Mr. Anderson. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.